wait, can I just understand your logic?
Andrew.
Wait, I just want to understand your logic. A woman making a face is sex work.
I think in some cases, a woman making a face can be sex work, yeah.
I just didn't realize that women were the No, that is not sex work.
Very disenchanted with men because she's only dated black men.
Yeah, this is what Lav does. She focuses on like the most like nothing points, right? Like, oh, you got the adjectives wrong. Who cares? You did say that, right?
Okay, so what's the argument?
Thanks, Smith.
I just wanted to get that off of my chest before I...
Oh my god.
Very frustrating.
This guy is so fucking stupid. But here we have a stream by the Crucible, aka Big Papa Fascist, okay? Now, I know this guy's kind of evil. A lot of people don't like him. But if I'm being honest with you, he has some banger content, okay? And that's what we're checking out today. Basically, he hosted a Twitter space talking about the Whatever Podcast. The Whatever Podcast is basically just like a knockoff version of Fresh and Fit, where they bring like a bunch of girls onto like talk on their podcast, and like they just like kind of make fun of them the whole time. They like point out how like retarded they are, and then like post all these clips to TikTok and all this other stuff, right? Andrew Wilson, or the Crucible, or Big Papa Fascist, decides to do a stream in defense of the Whatever Podcast, as people call in through Twitter Space. Actually, I don't even know how he did this. I wish I knew how to do this. But yeah, we're just gonna take a look at this and see what it's about. This is when Lavloon, if you don't remember who Lavloon is, she is the girl who Destiny streamed with for a while, but she's turned out to be a little crazy. And then right after, Smith calls in, who is just a Mr. Girl orbiter, I think. And also JustPearlyThings is here with Andrew too. Obviously, JustPearlyThings, being a pick-me, is she loves the Whatever Podcast. So
there we go.
While you're doing that, I just want to say one thing.
Hang on. I think
that...
we got Lav in. Lav, can you hear us now? Can you unmute yourself?
I can.
Okay, go ahead if you have some pushback. I'm sure you do. What's your criticism here?
Yeah, well, firstly, let me say that I'm very ill right now, so I'm not as quick as I usually am, if you could even grant me.
Catching all those OnlyFans diseases, Lav.
Yes,
Turbo AIDS.
I'm catching all the OnlyFans diseases. No, I think I have COVID. But basically, what I think is kind of degenerate, or at least what is immoral about what Brian does, is that it's not only the OnlyFans girls that he's bringing on, he's also just bringing in random women from the local college, which is very strange to me. I don't know if you recently saw the episode where he gets the, his like, the teenager that he gets to sit behind him and make, like, porny ahigo faces, but he just brought in, like, her family, and they talked about, like, her body count in front of her dad. Like, it's just completely degenerate.
That's banger, dude.
Like,
Wait.
That's banger content. What do you mean, dude? That sounds funny as fuck. Getting like some, getting some like random girl's dad to come on the show and like talk about her body count in front of him. Dude, if I was that dad, I would kill myself. That sounds like actually evil.
Wait. That girl works for the show.
By sitting in the back and making like porn faces, I just don't know how much that's sex work.
That's not sex work. That you're talking about that Asian chick, right?
Yeah, that's who she's talking about. Yep.
That's pretty much sex work.
That is not sex work. I think she'd find it really offensive if you called her.
I mean, okay, if you're literally there just as like eye candy, which is like basically. Oh fuck! I'm not showing it, dude. I'm retarded, bro. Oh my god. Why did no one tell me? You guys suck. No, I'm just kidding. No, okay. But, I think that if you are just, like, eye candy, like, I mean, I don't think that's sex work, but I just don't think, like, being, like, an Instagram or an OnlyFans model is, like, sex work, right? I think that sex work is, like, actually if you're, like, having sex, right? But, I mean, I think a lot of people nowadays, they consider, like, modeling sex work. They consider OnlyFans modeling sex work, right? So they would probably also consider someone being eye candy sex work, right?
I don't care what she finds offensive.
No,
she sits behind him and makes ahigo.
Hang on. Sigma female, let her finish, and then we'll move over to you.
It's what is true.
I'm retarded, bro.
What is true? If she's not a sex she's not a sex worker. She doesn't sell sex.
Then what is the point of a young woman sitting behind
Brian
and all of the? Let me finish.
I'll do back later, gamer.
Yeah, I can explain. Yeah, I can actually explain what her function is because I asked her while I was there, Lav. So,
Okay.
What happens is sometimes people fail to show up. In fact, this happens all the time because they book, 7, 8, 9, 10 people at a time. You know this. You were there in the studio. How small it actually is. In order to get those camera shots, they don't want to see empty chairs and they want to see proper spacing. So one of the functions that she has, and you'll see this often, is she will fill the empty chair. That's one thing that she does. She also helps with the studio setup. She also helps with all sorts of different things. She's definitely an employee of the show. And it kind of makes sense to have a woman who can fill in if necessary on the spot. So
Sure, but that's not bringing up the fact that in a lot of the broadcast, she is sitting behind Brian while all the seats are full, and she's making ahigo faces.
I mean, who cares? Why is this even a point of argumentation? I guess Lav has this like weird worldview where she thinks all sex work is like exploitation, right? But if this girl is willingly just like, nobody's asking her to go and make ahigo faces, nobody's asking her to like be eye candy or whatever, right? They're like, what's your issue with it? Nobody is exploiting this girl. She's doing it of her own volition, of her own free will, right? I'm streaming.
I don't know if you know what ahigo faces are. At the camera behind Brian.
I'll do it real quick because this is
That is
boring.
like
yeah, because it's hilarious.
And then he's brought up. It's not hilarious.
Yeah, she's making fun of him. She's making fun of him. She's literally making fun of him. Come on.
I mean, okay, to be fair, I don't know the exact context of this and whether she's making fun of him or not, but I don't think it really matters. I don't think if you willingly go on a stream and you willingly make like a sexual faces at the camera or whatever, I don't think that's exploitation at all, right? Like it's just kind of a stupid thing to say.
Can I just understand your logic?
Andrew.
I just want to understand your logic. A woman making a face is sex work.
Do you know what the concept of ahigo is, Pearl?
No. I want a girl making a face. I've been on the show. I know.
Okay, so if you can't answer my question,
what is it?
We can't have this discussion.
You think a woman making a face is the same thing as sex work?
I mean, then again, I don't think it is personally, but under like these people's worldview, I can definitely see how it is, right? And I don't know, but I don't think it's exploitation at all. I don't see really what the issue is with it, whether it's sex work or not, right?
Do you know what an ahigo face is, Pearl?
Why don't you answer my question?
If a woman is making... Yeah, let me answer it, babe. If a woman is making a series of pornified faces that are well known in anime communities and pornified male communities as sexual faces, and she's sitting there and all the comments are just talking about how cute and hot she is constantly, yes, I think that is a form of sex work.
So,
and I think in good faith,
hang on, let her respond, Lav. Let her respond. Lav. Hey, let her respond now.
I mean, she's just eye candy. That's how I would put it.
Okay, so I want to repeat it. You think that a woman making a face is the same thing as sex work?
I think in some cases, a woman making a face can be sex work, yeah.
I just didn't realize that women were this retarded. No, that is not sex work.
Well, I mean, listen.
I've never seen Maddie make the face.
Seeing you on the timeline baffles me. I think that women aren't that retarded either.
Let me make sure I don't make the wrong face on screen.
Yeah, well, not only that, but if you're mocking, so Lav, let me ask you this: if you're mocking it, if that's the point, is
it's
to
not, Andrew, it's not mocking.
Okay, but let me finish. Let me finish.
I think I can
hang on. Let me finish. I'll let you respond. I always do. Okay, if you're making a mocking face, and I think that I can tell the difference too. And having met this chick, I know for sure because I've talked with her, and she says that she enjoys mocking these people. So if they're making kind of the mocking face, but men. I mean,
okay, she can be mocking people, and men can see it at the same time and like think it's hot or whatever. Right? She can serve two purposes at the same time. I just don't think it really matters all that much.
Can sexualize that because some men can sexualize anything. They sexualize like knees. They sexualize all kinds of shit. That's still not. That's not sex work. The sex work has an intent behind it, doesn't
it? Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't.
Yeah.
Really...
So do you think that this is? I honestly.
I mean, I think this is a losing battle for Lav, right? Because apparently both Andrew and Pearl have met this girl personally, and she just admitted that sex work has an intention by it, and Andrew and Pearl are both advocating for this girl and saying, well, her intention actually isn't to arouse the audience sexually. It's in fact to, just like make fun of the girls on the stream or whatever, right? So, I mean, she's kind of fighting a losing battle right here.
I have a question. How old are you?
Okay, go ahead and...
How old are you? I have to go in a second. I'm just curious. How old are you?
I'm 25 years old, Pearl.
Right here.
I just find that it's always...
Dang it, your age changed again, Lav.
I know,
I'm like 27 now.
I grow up.
Then you get younger, and then you get older.
What do you mean?
I love... I fucking love Lav Hate. It's awesome.
I thought you said you were like 27
She's so retarded.
now.
What?
Me and you have had to talk about your age like 10 times.
He's just mad that girl gets more sexual.
Dude, Andrew wants to talk about Degenerate. He's smoking in his house, bro. That's so... Dude, okay. This is so unrelated, but I fucking hate people who smoke in their house because their house just smells like shit. Maybe this is like a basement or something, but it's just... Ugh.
Attention that she does.
Unironically, that's the only thing that... Like, the only reason vaping is better than smoking is because it doesn't make your house smell like shit.
Like, I would not call her a sex worker. I gotta go.
All right. See you later, Pearl.
Okay. But,
Bye, Pearl.
Bye.
Gangnam Style.
All right, Lav. Go ahead.
What?
Sorry.
Wait, first of all, I'm confused because I'm 25, engaged to be married, and haven't ever fucked a black guy. And she wants to talk about degeneracy? That's
What?
crazy to me. That's crazy to me.
Are you saying that having sex with black men is degenerate?
To people with her worldview, absolutely. Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
This is such a weird point by Lav, and she never elaborates. And I am not going to go fucking find out what she means by this. I think what she means is like that Lav hangs around like Nick Fuentes, and like Nick Fuentes said one time that like he had those like chat leaks or whatever where he said it's degenerate to have sex, like interracial sex or whatever. But I mean, like, it's so fucking weird. I don't know why she makes this point even in the first place. It's just so... It doesn't make any sense. I think she's just kind of retarded, if I'm being honest with you guys.
Absolutely.
What are you talking about? How?
Smoking feels better, but it tastes like shit.
You want to talk about race science in here, Andrew? I don't think you're going to like
Her
that.
worldview does not... What are you talking
Okay, I just think if you fucking smoke in your house, or your car for that matter, too. If you smoke in your car, it's just gross. Because then when I have to go in your house or your car, it's like gross, you know?
about? What world?
It smells
what
like
worldview
shit.
do you think she ascribes to?
This is what I think. I think that Pearl has become very...
Oh yeah, also I want to clarify. I don't think Pearl aligns with Nick Fuentes. Maybe she does. I don't know. I haven't looked into her that much, but I don't think she's that fucking extreme. So
very disenchanted with men because she's only dated black men, and so she takes it out on the whole world. Whatever. We don't need to talk about Pearl. She's not here anymore.
None of that's true. She hasn't. She hasn't only.
Without her interrupting me, asking me about my age.
Well, wait a second.
How old is she?
Wait a second. She hasn't only done that. That's ridiculous. Why would you say that?
Wait, why would I say what?
That she's only dated black men. That's not true.
Well, she's only publicly dated black men.
No, that's not even true. You're just making it up as you go. Where
Okay,
on earth did you come up with this?
Wait, publicly, has she had a white boyfriend?
Well, I think that she generally keeps that stuff and whatever her dating is to herself, but definitely,
publicly,
yeah, definitely, yes, definitely, she has. Yes, the answer is yes.
Boyfriend.
The answer is yes, she has.
Yeah.
She has had. Yes, I don't understand.
See, okay, what Lav is referring to right here is what she's referring to right here is Pearl's relationship with this Wanya guy. This guy is like a super popular TikToker, I think. That's literally the only reason this was ever posted, is because this guy has like 30 million followers or something like that on TikTok. He's like really popular. But yeah, I think that's the only reason this relationship was ever public, is because he's like also another public figure. I don't think it's fair to say that she only dates black guys because she dated this one black guy, and like I think it's 3 years ago at this point that she dated one. Yeah, so but in fairness to Lav, though, again, this is a really funny video. I don't want to get copyrighted, but I fucking can't. I can't.
Probably why That's probably why she's unmarried.
Why what is the argument that you're bringing to bear here? What is the ideology that you think that Pearl
Exactly.
ascribes
Ruined her
to?
sexual marketplace value by race mixing.
Okay, well, look, I'm not going to get into this on YouTube. That's ridiculous on its face. But if you want to, I mean, is that what you believe?
What do you mean? Why else would she not be married?
Oh my god, Lav is just so fucking stupid, man. I hate listening to her.
Well, I mean, is your husband
She
going to
is
lower
such a
his
dumb
value by
bimbo.
marrying a Jewish woman?
No. First of all, Jewish women are top tier. Jewish women are top tier.
No, but it's mixing, Lav. It's
The
mixing,
Japs?
isn't it?
All
Mixing.
the men in here know about the Japs. All the men in here know about the Japs.
Yeah,
We're a
okay.
beautiful people. We're a beautiful, big, full-bodied, breasted people. And we're very high IQ. That's what you want to give to your offspring. But
I think Lav is
going back.
I think Lav is just
Going back
retarded.
now. So I don't know if you're aware of this.
Like she's trying to be like funny, like with the like ironic racism thing, but it's just not landing. It's either she's trying to be funny and it's not landing, or she's actually just racist. So I'm actually being really charitable.
Maybe it's because I'm a Zoomer. Maybe it's because I was in the porn world for as long as I was. But there are certain faces that are made in anime or hentai or manga that are very pornified faces. And yes, I have seen her mock a lot of these women on the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
But I've also seen her make these overtly sexualized faces. She shows up to the broadcast wearing very revealing clothing.
She's just fucking eye candy. Like, there's a million YouTubers who will put like their hot girlfriend in their thumbnail, right, to like fucking attract more viewers, right? Is that a form of sex work? I think when she says in the porn world, I think what she means is like she did porn for a lot of time. She was in the industry or whatever.
Again,
all these people talk stupid.
listen, even if she doesn't think that that's what she's doing, and I don't think that this is the same thing as being a porn star, obviously. I think that sex work is on like a scale in the same way that like, a model does a form of sex work, like a bikini model does a form of sex work. Obviously, that's not the same thing as porn. There are levels to this. But I think certainly what she's doing is capitalizing, and Brian also is capitalizing off of her youthful, beautiful nature, which I think to some extent can be a form of sex work. And
wait, hang on, one point at a time. So before we get into too much of a gish gallop, your point here is that because men sexualize her on that podcast, that therefore her sexual nature is being exploited by the podcast.
To be fair to Lav, I think her point is that she sexualizes herself, right? Like by wearing revealing clothing, making these faces. I mean, even if it is to mock, I would be willing to bet she knows what she's doing.
Because Brian knows it, yes.
Yeah, but okay, so couldn't you say that about literally any form of a podcast that could have an attractive woman who's on it, who has a fan base?
Yeah, you could say that.
Yeah, so don't you think that criticism kind of falls short? Because
I think that it's still.
Yeah, well, you're just saying that if you know that men will sexualize, then women can't have any media presence.
No, I'm saying that first of all, we come from different worldviews. I think that because of where women exist on a sexual subjugation scale, there's always going to be an air of that. It's why Rachel wears makeup when she goes on a public appearance. It's because she needs to look presentable. She wants to look beautiful. She's treated better, right? You're more likely to be treated better as a woman.
You're more likely to be treated better as a man if you look better too.
Sure, but it's obviously, that it's different for women.
Well, I don't know, Lav. I often feel very sexualized, and somehow I can still get through the day.
I'm not saying that being sexualized is even inherently a negative thing. I'm just saying it's a neutral thing that exists.
Yeah, I don't know. The point seems to fall short because it's just a criticism that you could lay broadly against anybody who has any female co-host or is in any way even moderately attractive. So in that case, whatever's definitely not doing anything different than almost every conservative or progressive outlet which exists by allowing any young attractive women to be there. But there doesn't seem to be any form of sexual exploitation unless you make a real stretch.
Yeah, I mean, like, obviously, like, it's putting, even if we, I don't, it's just such a weird thing, right? Because is putting like is like putting a hot girl in like a YouTube thumbnail sexual exploitation, because you have to remember from Lab's point of view, all sex work is exploitative to women, right? So like it's just so weird. If I don't understand how she can have that opinion when if you're willingly doing something, it's not, I don't know. A joint. I think Andrew's like mega conservative. I don't think he would smoke a joint. I think he's like he is called Big Papa Fascist, so that should that should tell you about his politics. I like him though. I don't know how you can hate Andrew. He's such a he's just so likable. I don't know. He's charming.
Well, that's not my biggest criticism of. I just think that that's one aspect of degeneracy. I think that also bringing on women who don't know what they're getting into. There's two things happening.
How do they? Wait. You can stop. What do you mean they don't know what they're getting into? This show has millions of subscribers. The clips are viral constantly. You think that they just don't know what's going on?
Well, this is what I was about to say. Is there's a bunch of people. There's different types.
Hold up. Is Lav this is her channel. This is 1 month ago. Is Lav sexually exploiting herself here because she is wearing very short, some very short shorts, right? In a way, you could interpret her as being eye candy on whatever fucking show this is. Is she exploiting herself here? I mean, Andrew is very correct when he says that you can lay this criticism very broadly across a lot of channels, right? I don't know. That's the name. The Crucible is just the name of his channel, I think. I don't fucking know.
Come on. One, they're just people from the local colleges because he lives. He records in a college town, so people.
I hate that. Like, I hate when people do this where they act like college kids or like if you're 18, you're a fucking adult. You need to bear the consequences of your actions, okay? Nobody's getting exploited if you go to a random college and you pick up girls there to come on a show and then embarrass them, okay? Nobody's getting exploited. He's not making anyone do anything. If they end up looking retarded, that is their fault, right? And if they wanted to prevent that situation from happening, it's not like they're withholding information, right? Their show is very public. If they want to know what the show's about, all they have to do is look it up, do like 2 seconds of research. If they look it up and they see that their show is basically all about like bringing on retarded women and dunking on them, then they can assess that and make a decision based off it to either go on or not go on, right? All these people are adults. They are fully implicated adults. Like, there is no reason why we should be treating these people like children. But you could with the other girl wearing a low-cut shirt. Yeah, it's so fucking weird, man.
People have heard of it. Maybe they've seen even a couple things go viral, but they don't really understand the concept of the show. Maybe they've never seen a full
What do you mean they don't understand the concept of the show? If they don't, then they should just watch like 2 minutes of a show and they will get the general gist, right? It's really not that hard.
They've just seen a clip of it.
Yeah, but that's going to be the exception, not the rule.
And if you as an adult go on a show without doing any research about it beforehand, then that is your own fault. Like, I'm sorry, you're an adult. You're not a little fucking kid anymore. If you go on a show without doing the proper research beforehand and you end up getting dunked on, I don't know what to tell you. It's your fault.
It's also very hard to imagine human nature. It's hard to imagine what it's like to go viral for saying something stupid, right? So, of course, mistakes are made.
Yeah, but why do those women then... Why?
And even if going viral for saying something super stupid is like so terrible, right? Ultimately, the majority of like the hate you're gonna get is gonna be online, right? So just fucking, I don't know, delete Twitter, delete Instagram. Who the fuck cares? All right, bye. See you later. Have a good night.
Hey, hang on. This actually, we got to go a point at a time. No, we've got to go. We've only got to go a point at a time.
I will.
Otherwise, you end up making 4 points.
You stop me in the middle of.
I have to stop you in the middle of a point in order to address the point. So I will steel man this point, okay, to make sure that I don't get it wrong. Your claim here is that, wait a second. Because people, women in this case, or men, doesn't matter, they probably don't even understand the negative side effects of what a viral clip that makes them look stupid is going to do to them.
The negative side effects are not that bad, okay? I've never had like a clip go viral of me like saying something stupid, right? But I do know like obviously I've experienced a minimal amount of online hate before. If you're getting hate online, turn off your fucking computer, delete your social media. It's really not that fucking hard to ignore. Okay, just turn it off. I don't know why, dude. People nowadays, like, they have like such a fucking hard time just like not like just turning off Twitter. Like, if you're really having that hard of a time, deactivate your accounts and just delete the app. That's it. Dude. You're done. You no more hate, no more engaging with it. And then after a little while, you can come back. That's the best thing ever, is that people will forget after like a week. You just need to like deactivate and delete it for like a week. That's it. It's not that fucking hard, man. Oh my god.
That's your claim. Am I right about that?
Yeah. Do you think that that's
okay?
A descriptive
So
or
now,
prescriptive claim?
let me respond to it. Well, I'm arguing with the descriptive claim. Even the descriptive claim here, I don't think is true, because most of these women have these viral clips and then fucking come back.
I don't think that that's true.
That is true. It is true. In fact,
but again, this is why you need to let me finish my
Kiko
points.
comes back. Well, wait, we're on one point.
I think, okay, to be fair to Lav here, I think that this is a completely anecdotal, so I don't know if this is 100% true or not, but I think that women with already previously established online, like OnlyFans and like Instagram presence, they come back, presumably to get more attention, right? Because like obviously, if you have a viral clip you saying something stupid, you get a ton more attention to your social medias. A lot of that attention isn't going to be good attention, right? But you're still getting a lot more attention. So I think the way it is like, already established online figures come back, but like random women off of like the college street aren't going to come back, right? Because they don't really have that much to gain from it, and they'll just end up looking stupid again, unless they're trying to build like an audience, right?
Point. Right? So you can't gish gallop and evade. Kiko
Andrew,
came
you
back.
did not let me
Nala
finish it. I'm not
came
gish
back. All
galloping.
these different people came back to the show after these viral clips came
Andrew,
out.
why are you?
But I mean, then again, it doesn't even really matter, because if you're an adult and you do something stupid, I don't feel bad for you. Okay, I just don't.
Scared to let me finish a point.
Why are you scared to let me address one? Why are you scared to let me address a point?
Like, it's not exploitation. Do I think? Okay, let me amend my point a little bit here. Okay, it's not exploitation anyway if you're an adult and you get brought on all of these shows. But I will admit that like the hosts of the whatever podcast are like kind of losers for it, right? Like, you're really bringing on like kind of like some of the most retarded people, just get easy dunks in. It's just low hanging fruit, right? Like, to be extremely clear, I think that the hosts of the whatever podcast, like, they're obviously picking on extremely low hanging fruit, but that doesn't make it exploitation, right?
Instead, I have to let you gish gallop. We're on a single point. Let's get the point out so that you can't move away from the point over and over and over. So to respond to this, they come back on the show. Can you respond to that criticism?
So wait, the criticism that you're making that you don't think that it's true.
Yeah, I'm saying that your descriptive claim is false, and my evidence for this is that they come back even after these viral clips,
So
making them look
your
stupid.
evidence
Come
is
out.
Anecdotal, just as mine.
No,
so
no,
it's
mine's
just different descriptions,
mine's not
it's just different
anecdotal.
views of the same thing.
Mine's not anecdotal.
I mean, okay, to be fair, they're both anecdotal. They're just anecdotal observations, right? But what Andrew should say here is that, like, even if it is anecdotal, obviously some people still come back. What do you say to that, right? I mean, like, obviously still at least some do. Like, that is empirical.
Well, I'm giving you evidence.
Oh, so you have statistical evidence showing that
It doesn't
all
need
of
to
the women
wait,
who
wait,
embarrass
wait.
themselves come on.
It doesn't
Come
need
back on.
it doesn't need to be
Okay, so neither does mine.
It doesn't need to be empirical, but it is a 100% fact that some women still do come back on. And what Lav needs to do is respond to that. Like, well, if having this viral clip is so terrible, then why do people still come back on after having this terrible viral clip? And that's what she needs to respond to.
It doesn't need to be empirical in
So
that
neither does
sense. Hang on. In that sense. It is still empirical to say, though, that they come back on, so the criticism falls short.
Sure, and do you not think that a part of that is to prove
He's having
themselves that
another
they're
smoke.
like not retarded? Of course, we see celebrities do this all the time. They beg for forgiveness. They try to come on. That's human nature, anyway. And also, let me finish the rest of my point.
I mean, okay, dude. If fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me, right? Like, if you go on the show twice and you end up getting embarrassed twice, then like there's even less sympathy. Okay, I already had very little sympathy, but there is like actually zero sympathy if you come on twice and end up getting embarrassed.
Is that there are certainly women who come on just looking to promote and don't even care what they look like or whatever. But Brian also, I don't know if you know anyone who hasn't been asked to go on, but I'm someone who wasn't asked to go on. I was someone who wanted to go on. So what they do is they make you, and I can send this to you, they make you fill out like a questionnaire basically, and I'm sure that Brian chooses the most retarded and vivacious out of the fucking bunch. And these women like it. Again, I'm not even anti whatever podcast. I
Okay,
like
hang
that
on.
the
One
medium
point.
exists.
So let's start with your point of they have to fill out some paperwork before they come on. And so your point here is I'm certain that
Wait,
Brian.
also, have you seen?
Let me
have you
finish,
seen the
Lav.
questionnaire?
Let me finish. Yes, I have.
Do you know that it says to dress like it's gonna be hot in a club? What do you think that sounds like, Andrew?
Well, so it says you can, or that people enjoy that. It doesn't say that you must. There's no must. There's no entailment for must.
I mean, I don't know why Lav would make a big deal out of that when that is just like the vibe of the show, right? Like there's like a dress code or whatever, right? They like if it was more like a more formal debate show, I'm sure it would say something like wear like nice clothing or whatever. But no, it's that type of show, so they're gonna obviously want people to show up in like scantily clothed or whatever, right? Like who cares?
And
Of course
that's
there's
also
a must.
that's also
There
that's
doesn't
also
need to be a must.
Lav. I'm answering to your question. It doesn't say that you have to do that.
And then yeah, Andrew's making a good point here where like the whatever podcast is not making them do anything. They're not saying like it's either you dress like a slut or you don't get to come on the podcast. They're saying this is the general vibe, so we advise you to dress like this. But obviously you can show up in a suit if you wanted to, right?
Yes. What's going on?
Of course.
What's going on is you're framing it as though that is said when it's not said. Not only that, when you're talking about the questionnaire itself that you're filling out to come on, you make kind of this bold claim that he's only selecting out of people who send those questionnaires in.
I didn't make that bold claim.
You did. Your exact words were,
No, I didn't.
This is why I stop you on every point. Your exact words here were I'm sure Brian's only selecting the ones that he thinks are going to be the dumbest or the most ridiculous. Those were your exact words.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's actually, you even got my adjectives wrong.
See, this is what Lav does. She focuses on like the most like nothing points, right? Like, oh, you got the adjectives wrong. Who the fuck cares? You did say that, right? Which is completely like it's a completely baseless assumption that Lav makes. Well, probably not baseless, as you can see that a lot of women that go on the show are pretty dumb. But I mean, then again, it's an unsubstantiated assumption, right?
I said retarded and vivacious.
Okay, so then you did say it.
But no, I definitely made the implication that I think that that's what he has to be doing for
I
views.
mean, you didn't make an implication. You said it. There's a difference between implying something and saying it, right?
But I don't think that that's even...
And you
I
have
can't
zero
prove that.
evidence. Yeah, you have zero evidence for it.
Sure.
Yeah.
This whole all we're doing, Andrew, me and you are making anecdotal claims about the same person. So you can give your opinion, and I'm allowed to give mine. I haven't asked you for empirical data about your anecdotal thoughts about Brian.
You can make
And
this.
so
Hang on. You
asking
can
me
make.
for mine is very silly.
This is insane. So if you witness a murder, that's an anecdotal claim. But does that mean that you should not be taken seriously, or your witness should not be taken seriously?
Honestly, watching the Whatever podcast is sort of like witnessing a murder.
Yeah,
And
you're
then
not
it is
answering.
Yeah,
you're not.
retarded.
You're not
Harmful to
answering. You're not
society.
answering to the question. So to answer to the question, should you be dismissed because it's anecdotal? You don't have empirical evidence. That's
yeah,
it.
someone.
That's
yeah,
not the
and someone
standard.
cannot go to jail based on witness testimony.
Yes, they can.
Yeah, I don't know what
Not-
Lav is talking about here, okay? People most definitely can go to jail based off of witness testimony. She's going to argue with BPF for a little bit about this. You can most definitely go to jail based off witness testimony, especially if you are considered a very credible witness, or there's multiple witnesses involved in the case, right? Like, if fucking 5 people all see you kill someone, obviously they're going to take that seriously and you'll probably be convicted, right? Or, like, I'm trying to think of an example of like a credible witness. Obviously, there's circumstances where fucking observing something is enough to get someone convicted, right?
On just witness testimony.
Yes.
No, they can't.
Yes, they can.
And I mean, don't women go to jail? Or like, don't men go to jail for like rape all the time, right? I'm not saying that's a bad thing, obviously, but like basically most of the time at least, all you have in a rape case is witness testimony, is the testimony of the girl who was raped, right? There's usually not empirical evidence, there's usually not like super strong evidence. It's usually just her like story or whatever. And then maybe like a rape kit too, right? And people get convicted for that all the time. So I don't even know what Lav is saying here.
No, they can. Andrew,
they can.
There's no way you actually think this.
I not only think it, but it's true that you can go to jail just based on
Andrew.
witness testimony. Yes, you
No,
can.
you can't.
Yes, you can.
No, you can't.
Why do you think you can't? Show me the
Because
law that
that's not
says.
how the American
Show me.
law
Show
works,
me. Show me.
Andrew.
Show me that you can't go to jail based on eyewitness testimony.
You go to jail beyond a reasonable doubt, which means that you have to have at least a couple other forms of evidence.
Nope.
If some person just comes up to you and says, no, this didn't happen, or no, this did happen, that is not the deciding factor of whether or not you go to jail, Andrew.
It
Come
can,
the
yeah.
fuck
All
on.
you have to do
Be
is
for real.
demonstrate,
Be for
and I'm
real.
being for real. So all you have to do is demonstrate to a jury that the eyewitness testimony is credible enough to be beyond reasonable doubt. That's it. You can indeed, and people have gone to jail many, many, many times just based on eyewitness testimony, absent any other compelling evidence. I mean, many times in the justice system this has happened. You have no idea what the fuck you're talking about.
Yeah.
That's just true.
Okay. I don't even, Andrew, I don't even know how to fight this. That's
Bro, Lav is so fucking retarded, man. And she can't fight it because she's just wrong and she won't back down.
not how people go to jail. I don't even know what to say.
It is, and it does happen all the time. I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay. You know what? I have the ego death. Sorry, I'm eating a fry. I have the ego death to concede to this. I don't even care that much about it. But with the whatever podcast, bringing it back because you love to just go all over the place during a debate. This is like your entire mode of operation is just like
I don't know how Lav can say that when Andrew is like the only person keeping this fucking conversation on track, bro. Oh my God.
I go one point at a time. Don't let you gish gallop. It upsets you because anytime I pin you on a point, you get destroyed on it.
Someone finish a point, and that's how you.
You've talked more than I've talked, Lav.
I'm above it, Andrew.
You've talked more than I've talked, Lav.
Objectively true.
Maybe that's true, but I just have more to say generally.
Yeah, I know, because you want to gish gallop around, and when I pin you on a point, you get wrecked on the point. That's why you want to gish gallop.
And wrecked me on, Andrew.
Every point.
She literally just conceded a point. Are you fucking kidding me? That literally just happened. What did you pin me on? It just happened.
Every point thus far that you've made.
Parallel universes?
We must be, because what's happened here is that every single time we actually draw down on an actual point that you're making, where you don't just kind of spurg all over the place, you can never make a defensible case for what it is that you're saying. This is very common for left-wing debaters, by the way. It's why they hate me, because I drill in on a single point.
I can't.
Lav thinks that sarcasm is like supporting evidence for her argument, to be fair.
Okay, so let me be okay.
I don't know what that
because maybe I'm confused here. What do you think my argument is?
I think that your argument, well, you've made multiple, but I'll steal man kind of each in a row. The first argument that you made was that Brian recruits locally, and most of the time these women don't even know what they're getting into. That was false.
Did I say most of the time?
Yeah, you did say most of the time, yeah.
No, I didn't.
And not only that, you said, and then backed away from the claim that you're sure.
Nope, didn't back away from it.
You're
Still
sure.
believe that there are some women that he brings on.
Do you want me to steel man them one at a time or no?
See, this is why you win debates, is because you frame them incorrectly, Andrew.
Yeah, you can go after the steel man. That's fine, but at least let me make the steel man. So the second steel man to your argument was that when he gets these different questionnaires in, you're sure, and this is what you said, you're sure that what he does is he selects for, whatever, the most provocative or whatever, however you framed that. But that is what you said.
Do you think I stated that as opinion or fact?
Well, I think that you wanted to lead people.
I mean, she did clarify directly after that that's her opinion, right? So, I mean, I guess fair point to Lav.
Pull into the idea that this is what was going on, even if it was stated as an opinion. I think that's the entailment that you wanted.
Do you want to lead people into thinking that you're right about it?
Yeah.
Okay. Nice concession. Okay, what else?
Well, what do you mean? What do you mean? The concession. So what I'm doing is making sure that the framing is correct, and that you're not able to lead people down to this untrue statement. So at least the statements I'm trying
This
to make are
untrue
true.
statement of opinion.
Yeah. Your opinion is it? Does it have any truth claim to it at all?
Well, here's the thing. This is also about what I said about Pearl is that I said this a matter of opinion, but also there's truth to it. Is that dating a black man ruins
Okay,
your
dude,
sexual
I'm
marketplace?
not getting into that.
Jesus
So,
Christ.
if you want to talk about
There's
that,
obviously a level of truth
Yeah,
to
She
it.
always brings it back to this weird race shit, bro. Kick her off. Get her out of here.
want to
it's
talk
also
about that while
opinion,
I'm
right?
on YouTube, I got to drop you from the stream, Lav. You think you can handle the not being a groiper for 5 minutes, or?
A groiper?
Yeah.
Holy, can you be a Jewish woman groiper?
Yeah, I don't know. Do you want to?
I don't know. I mean, to be fair, Nick Fuentes is like the leader of the Groypers, and he's like a Mexican. He's not even a full Mexican. He's a half Mexican, right? So I think anything is possible.
Do you want to actually have a productive conversation or no?
I'm trying to, Andrew.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I apologize. I'll behave from now on.
Yeah. So anyway,
Whip her into
back to
shape, Andrew.
What we were saying, these are your criticisms here kind of fall short.
I
You also
know.
tried to say that it was the Asian chick who works for the podcast, that she's somehow sexually provocative and her sexuality is being exploited because she makes goofy faces, which I thought was also an insane claim. When we drilled in on that claim, we find
Because you
out.
don't understand Ahigo?
Yeah, we find out. No, I do understand what that is.
Oh?
Yeah.
Very familiar? Or just
Well, no,
tangentially?
I ran into it because they have that chick Nala and she explained it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
exactly.
So, but what she's doing is making fun of that. So, and obviously making fun of that.
It was before Nala ever came on the podcast.
Yeah, that
This
doesn't mean that
little
she's
girl
not
was doing it.
Yeah, so
Also,
she's
how
so
do you feel-
familiar.
how do
What
you
does that
feel
have
about
to
the
do with
young Asian
anything?
girl?
Wait, what does her going on the podcast later have to do with this chick's familiarity with that? That makes no sense, Laugh.
Wait, okay, so her doing Ahego faces even without Nala coming on, let's say that Nala just doesn't even exist,
Yeah.
it's still just making fun of Ahego?
Yeah, they're making fun of it, sure.
Actionably, do you think that that's any different?
I think what Andrew's trying to say is that she's just doing it like ironically, right? And even if she's doing it ironically, obviously there can still be like coomers in the audience that like think she's hot or whatever. But I mean, even Lav admitted herself that in order for someone to do sex work, there has to be intention behind it, right? So I mean, I don't think it's this like girl's fault if she's doing something ironically and people are perceiving it as if, you know, like, oh, I'm cooming right now or whatever, right?
Different? Do you think?
Yeah, do
making
you
fun
think
of
that
porn
Nala's
stars
the
by doing
only-
porn
do you think
is
that-
not porn anymore?
Do you think that Nala's the only one who's done that? And do you think that it's pornography for her to make fun of it? That's insane.
I mean, I think she's pretty obviously eye candy, right? But I don't think being eye candy is sex work. So
If she
That's
was making
not
fun of
the
it by
claim I made,
taking, if she was taking her clothes off to do porn to own the porn stars, you'd have a point. But making fun of the faces, yeah, I don't think so.
If you so let's say if you dressed up as
is he having a third smoke? Oh my god.
dressed up as like a
That's
kawaii
crazy.
girl to make fun of kawaii girls, and men are still getting the same thing from it, is it actionably any different?
Well, in that particular case, probably not. But that has nothing
Yeah,
to do.
so Ahego probably
Yeah, but
is
you're
actionably-
making a false dichotomy comparison.
We need to Andrew
Making
smoke.
That
fun.
actually wasn't a false dichotomy.
It is a false
comparison.
dichotomy because in the one case, what they're doing, you're saying if you do porn to own the porn star, or if you're taking off clothes in order to make fun of the people who are taking off clothes, you're actually engaged in the same activity they are. Yeah,
so
but you're
by
not
making fun of
engaging.
Ahego by doing Ahego,
No,
you're
no,
engaged
no,
in the same
you're
activity.
not. You're not actually. So in that
And
particular,
why?
I mean, it's like the same result, right? Where like I don't think you're engaging in the same activity, but it produces the same result where people are gonna like coom to it, right? But then again, I don't even know why they're having this argument because I really don't think that being eye candy on a stream is fucking sexual exploitation like Lav thinks. Okay, Lav is like some extremo weirdo. All right.
because in that particular case, what you're doing is you're not engaged in the same activity of the intent, trying to be provocative towards the idea. So,
So
this is no
matters
different.
now with
Yeah.
sex work.
Yeah, of course. Well, intent always matters with sex work. Intent matters
Okay.
with everything.
Okay, I just disagree with this. So I guess we'll That's where the debate.
Dude, Andrew pinned her again, dude. She was, where did I get pinned on any points, Andrew? It just happened again, bitch. You're owned.
Ends there. I don't think
All
that
right.
intent matters when you're doing something sexualized that people can jerk their genitals to. But
Well, I mean, then basically every single woman who any man ever sexualizes who's on the mainstream is doing something wrong.
well, wrong. I wouldn't even. So you make the argument that it's wrong. I think that being
Or is it,
sexual
well, fine, then they're all
very
doing
normal
sex
and human.
work. Then they're all doing sex work, Lav. That's the logical entailment of your position.
I think that any woman who makes her platform about sex is probably engaging in sex work.
Yeah,
to
but
some
that's
degree.
not what your argument is. Your argument is
was my
that
argument, actually.
nope. Your argument is that if you're in any
Let
way
me tell
being
you
an
right now
attractive
that is my
and
argument,
and
Andrew.
provocative,
And
yeah,
I'm
but
not
it's
gonna let
not. You can
discount it and
reframe.
take
Well,
it
you're
from
just
me.
reframing it, but that is what the entailment of your argument is. So I'm just letting you know whether you like
Thank
it or
you for
not.
telling me the entailment. Can you spell entailment for me, Andrew?
Yeah, it's spelled like this: ENTAIL. Fuck you. It's spelled like that.
I don't think that's it.
I
don't
love
think
Andrew.
That's it. I'm
I
gonna
think
go
it
out on a
is.
limb.
I think it is. But anyway, I appreciate the call in, Lav. I'll let you go. Have a good day. I'll bring up
You
some of
too.
the other speakers who might be critical here.
All right, this is where I stop watching. I think we're gonna watch a little further into it. This is when Smeth calls in. Okay, if you don't know Smeth, he's a little fucking he's a little rat. He's a Mr. Girl dick rider. I actually got the follow from Chud Logic on Twitter for dunking on this little fucking retard. So that was a funny story. Basically, Smith thinks that Smith tried to claim that he wasn't a hobbyist despite having less. Like, I don't think he's ever made $1 from content creation. Okay, I could be wrong about that, but I don't think he's ever even made $1. And he tries to claim that, oh, I'm not a hobbyist. I do YouTube for real. It's not a hobby for me. Motherfucker, if it's not your job, you're a hobbyist, okay? That's a complete side tangent, though. That's just to let you know, a little sneak peek in the retardation we're about to indulge in, okay?
Second.
Okay, come on. Let's get into it.
That was real
Right.
frustrating
This is
call to
Smith.
listen to. Like, a Huego, like, you have to reframe it as either it's sex work or it's not, just to avoid saying it's sexual. Like, what the fuck? Like, both you and Pearl, like, sound retarded.
Damn.
Okay, so what's the argument?
Thanks,
Okay,
Smith.
I just need to get that off of my chest before I.
Oh my god.
Very frustrating.
This guy is so fucking stupid. I had to get off my chest that I think you're retarded. Okay, dude.
Whatever doesn't need to be deplatformed, any leftists saying that it should are insane. This
Based?
stupid thing leftists do. Brian literally has a sex doll on the set. He tells them that they can dress like they're in a hot club. The show is all about shaming these women, just like your co-host just said. It's all about shaming them.
Good.
But it's not that. But that. They
I mean,
don't
yeah,
all-
okay. I agree with what Smith is saying here. It's just the show is about picking on low-hanging fruit, which I think the hosts are obviously kind of losers for, but I don't think they're doing anything like inherently fucking evil by doing the show, right?
On to be shamed because some people were coming on here earlier to say that it's like the simp pipeline. No, it's the hate pipeline. It's they get a shit ton of like people that hate women to go onto their OnlyFans and hate jerk off to them. That's how they're making their money. That's what's happening. It's not turning men into simps. It's turning men into incel losers who don't know how to talk to women
Okay.
because they think women are all these fucking insane OnlyFans girls that literally go and perform this retarded bimbo performance to
Dude, bro, I don't understand how people think like this, right? Like, do people, like, okay, if you're like some like homeschooled freak and you've never talked to women in your life and you watch these podcasts, obviously you're gonna think all women are like these like retarded bimbo OnlyFans people, right? But dude, 95% of people who are fans of like the whatever podcast probably are normal fucking people and probably have all interacted with normal women before, okay? Like, I think a lot of these people like Smith, I think they think that like the general population of people is just so fucking retarded that they unironically think that like watching a podcast is going to shape their worldview about literally everything. Okay, bro? Like every single person on earth has probably met a normal woman who they just who they like, right? Who they think is like a cool person to like talk to or whatever. I don't understand how you can think that watching a podcast would turn somebody like super fucking against women because like they hate them. Like, I don't get it. It seems so disconnected to me.
To make men hate them, and then get all these hate views.
Well, then how come these women, most of them, are so highly successful?
Like, okay, I think that if watching the whatever podcast makes you hate women, then I think you were destined for that already. Okay, I just think you're a little retarded. Okay, and I don't think that's the majority of people. I think that's a very small minority that these people like to fucking focus in on.
And rich prior to the fact that they go on the whatever podcast.
I don't know. It has nothing to do with what I'm just saying.
It does. Well,
I'm
but
talking about what happens on the whatever.
Hang on. I just let you talk. Are you going to let me respond or no?
Okay, I was talking about what happens on.
Yeah, that's nice. Are you going to let me respond or not? So to respond to the claim, so that you know, you're saying that these already rich women, that it's creating a pipeline to people to go and hate jerk off to them. That's kind of what your point is here. Right, but why do they need to do that and make themselves look stupid?
I don't even think it needs to be like a hate jerk off, right? I think like you can like laugh at how stupid a woman is and then like go jack off to her later, right? Like I don't think it's just such a weird concept. I don't know. Maybe
if they're already multimillionaires or make hundreds of thousands of dollars a month, not doing that.
I don't know. Why don't you ask them? I would assume they're probably already.
Well, I'm asking you because it's your claim.
Well, I mean, probably they were already successful before, right? Then they got brought on this podcast to just boost their success, right? They're already popular before because they're hot.
Majority. What you're asking me to pontificate onto why they're doing that. So
it's your claim, so I'm trying to see if it's sound, if it even makes sense.
My claim was about what's happening on the whatever podcast. You're asking me a secondary question, which
is the motivation to go on the podcast to begin with. That happens on the podcast, right?
To promote their OnlyFans. Anybody that's like a major OnlyFans creator, porn star, whatever the fuck you want to call them, they know that the majority of men that fucking subscribe to them hate them and they hate women. And they
don't know that. You're just making that up. Demonstrate it. Demonstrate that that's true. That's just made up bullshit.
I mean, okay, I think it's a fair assessment to say that the majority of the whatever podcast audience was probably a little incel-y, right? Like they probably don't have the highest opinion of women, right? Simply because of the nature of the content where they're like constantly dunking on women, right? However, I think Smith is taking it to a new extreme where he's saying like, oh, everyone who watches the whatever podcast automatically fucking hates women and they want to, you know, like, I don't know. I think there is somewhere in the middle, right?
You're just making it up as you go.
So you think that the majority of these men, like these women that are making like hundreds and hundreds of $1,000s a month, like on OnlyFans, you think that like the majority of the men that are giving them money, like are actually simps and in love with them and shit?
I think I
don't think you have to be a simp to jerk off to someone, right? I think you just... It's probably more. I don't think it's as deep as Smith is presenting it. I think that like they just like see like a hot woman and they want to jerk off to it, right? Like I think that's it. And also like even people who don't watch the whatever podcast, obviously, if they're getting more traction to their account, more hate comments, that's interaction that boosts them in the algorithm, and then it shows their account to people who didn't even see them through the whatever podcast and just new audience through interactions and stuff, right?
For the most part, yeah.
Well, I disagree.
But give me the evidence for the disagreement.
No, most of them hate them.
Give me the evidence for the disagreement.
No, I mean, give me evidence.
Okay, so here's the evidence that I can give you. So here's the evidence. I'll give you the evidence to the counter. I've talked to these women, right? I've talked to many of these women. They make the claim the opposite direction, both on camera and off camera, that these men come in and simp for them and absolutely adore them. They're not there to hate them at all.
Yes, men do that, but the big money is in the hate viewers, the hate people.
Okay, well, I just offered you my evidence.
I mean, like, Andrew has a good point here where he's saying that he's talked to these women personally. He knows that, like, a lot of them, he's claiming at least that a lot of their, like, he's talked to them and they say that, like, they don't get a lot of, like, hate viewers or whatever, right? And Smith is just kind of basically claiming that they do. And it's just coming from nowhere, right?
That is bullshit.
Well, I just offered you. Hang on. Let me finish.
Who is Andrew's like co-host here? She's so. They need to turn her down, bro.
Off, Andrew, you would not have a channel.
Yeah, but anyway, so let me finish what I was saying. Yes, I would. I'm a great political analyst, whether I'm pissing people off or not. But that aside, and by the way, for the most part of the beginning of the channel, the content did not revolve around me at all. It revolved around other people. It was still a successful channel. You don't know what you're talking about. But that aside, back to this, I just gave you evidence for my claim from the source's mouth. From the mouth of these people.
Not evidence. You just made an anecdote.
No. This is from the...
That was evidence. I mean, even... Anecdotes are obviously still evidence. It's just a very weak form of evidence, right? However, if somebody is presenting a very weak form of evidence versus, like, literally fucking no evidence, what are you going to believe?
Source, the women themselves, who tell me this.
Well,
who's going to know more than them? You?
Can you not... Wait, first of all, like, I just need to make sure...
Who's going to know more than them? You?
Not know the difference between an anecdotal claim and evidence?
Okay, but should I take this...
Actually not know the
should I take the source...
Debater, but
what is he talking about? Obviously, anecdotes can be, like, they can be evidence. It's just a very, 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 very weak form of evidence, right?
Should I take...
Anecdotal fucking claim?
You're still spurging, dude. Should I take the claim of the woman as being more accurate than your claim?
Yeah, you can listen to people.
Who do you think? Which do you think is more reasonable? That I take the claim of the woman who tells me this, who's engaged in it, or your counterclaim, who's not in any way engaged in it?
This is what I think, and I think I'm right. That most of the big bucks come from the hate viewers, the people that hate jerk off to you.
Then prove it.
I think you have soy rage. I think you're a little soy man who's really, really angry. And these girls make most of their money from dudes that send them love letters. Yeah, I've done the statistics. I have a whole sheet on it, and the way that they make money is because they do, like, chats. Now, whether they have a chat bot doing it or it's really them.
I mean, yeah, obviously, that's where I think most of the money is in OnlyFans, is like the parasocial aspect, right? Where, like, the people who are jerking off, like, they're talking to a real woman or whatever. And yeah.
Most of these girls make their big money is they have a handful.
Yeah, I don't, like, if you're literally just want to watch someone to, like, hate, jerk off to them, I think OnlyFans is probably the worst site to do it, because the main attraction is the parasocial factor. And if you have, like, a hate relationship with someone, I don't know why you would want to engage with that. It doesn't make a ton of sense. I can see that as, like, maybe, like, hate watching, like, just a regular porn video where you're not actually interacting with the person who's producing it, you know?
Of whales who pay to chat with them.
That's
who
correct.
Send them gifts. Who buy them cars.
Yep.
So no, it's not the majority of the money is coming from hate watching, you absolute soy retard.
Thank you. Okay, well, let me amend my statement then. The majority of the audience is the hate people. The whales are not. The whales are the simps. Most of the people flocking in are not simps, and you need to have a massive influx of people. You can't just actually... If they only had like 3 simps, they wouldn't get any attention. They wouldn't be able to go on to whatever.
Fucking jazz from that Red Bull, bro.
Yeah, they would. They would still. Yeah, just 3 simps. 3 simps can equal hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars for some of these women.
That's not what I said. Yes,
that would explode.
They would just be a sugar baby, and they wouldn't have access to shows like this.
Why wouldn't they?
Because they have 3 subscribers to their own.
Yeah, but the thing is that they can have. Do you realize that they can do all sorts of advertising they couldn't ordinarily do by having that kind of influx of money, so that they can bring the simps in on the OnlyFans? You realize this, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
And
so I mean,
by doing that advertisement, the most of the influx is going to be hate people that are going to hate jerk.
Then that's what you have failed to demonstrate.
Well, that's no. I don't. I'm not.
Not hate watching, curious watching on the other hand.
And you cannot demonstrate otherwise. That's what I think. You think otherwise. So we can just...
Yeah,
he did kind of demonstrate otherwise by having an anecdotal experience. And it's even more credible than, like, a normal anecdotal experience, because he's talking, like, directly to people who run these, like, OnlyFans services, right? Like, if you go talk to a bunch of business owners or whatever, and you come back with their advice, you tell someone else about the advice you heard... Obviously, your advice is going to be the advice you procured from the other businessmen is going to be less value than the words of advice from the businessmen themselves, you know, like the primary source. However, it is still a pretty valuable source of information, right? Because you've collected it from so many different places.
I at least have the evidence from the women themselves. Don't you think that's better than your claim of just, I think this based on nothing?
Have said that there are
so like, for instance,
which I agree
what are you even basing this on?
This is what I think.
Yeah, but what? Based on what?
Because I don't know. It's what I don't know. What do you want me to say?
I want
Dude, Smith is so fucking retarded, man. He wants you to describe how you came to your opinion, right? Like, it's so fucking simple. What was your thought process? Why do you think this? Like, what led you to this conclusion?
Why don't you just tell me what you're basing it on? You think it. I get that you think it, but why do you think it?
Okay, so the same thing happens on the Fresh and Fit podcast. Most of the viewers on these podcasts hate women. They're very misogynistic. And so they get a big influx of people to their fucking channels. It's not people that are simps. It's people that hate them. Seems obvious.
How does Smith know that though, dude? Like, okay, how interactions work? Like, okay, let's say this like dumb whore goes on the podcast, right? And then she says something stupid. Oh, it blows up, blah 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 blah. And then she goes back on Twitter later and she's like tweeting stuff. And then she has all these fucking people replying to her, like shitting on her, right? Of all those people replying, they all have like small Twitter followings, 20, 50, maybe like even 1,000, right? All those people, the people who follow them, are then going to see them replying to this girl, and maybe they don't even know what it's about, but they're going to like see the hot girl, and then maybe they'll start like that's a new audience member the girl just gained, right? It doesn't have to be just exclusively the audience of these misogynistic communities that are watching her, but even if it is, like it doesn't really make sense that they would go to OnlyFans of all places, right? Why wouldn't they jerk off on like through a normal avenue?
Because, well, wait, if they go on these different shows where perhaps they have hate watchers there, maybe there could be some people who come over who like, I don't know, hate jerk off to them or some shit like this. But the core of their fan base most certainly is not that way. They were already popularized before they ever went on those shows. So I don't really understand why you even why you even come up with this.
You can't demonstrate that the core. I mean, I agree that whales are usually simps, but the core of their fan base, you can't demonstrate either way. But I think when you go on whatever podcast, then the majority of people that come from that audience are going to be hate viewers. And I think that.
I mean, I don't know how fucking OnlyFans works. I've never been on that website, but like, I assume there's a comment section, right? If you go to like some random OnlyFans whore who has been on the whatever podcast, you scroll down the comments. Are the comments going to be like wildly negative and like shitting on her because like it's a bunch of hate watchers? Like that just I doubt it. If I'm being honest with you, I doubt it.
That's pretty.
Yeah, but that's going to be a small fraction of their audience.
Well, that's why they go on at all.
Oh.
Yeah, but that's going to be a tiny.
Because they want to look like a retard. They go on to get viewers.
Well, that's going to be a tiny fraction of their audience, and no, I think that also.
I mean, obviously they want to look like a retard, so then it blows up, and then they get more attention, right?
So a lot of women enjoy having negative and positive attention, even if it doesn't lead to monetary gain.
What is your evidence for that, Andrew?
Well, the evidence that I would use for that is the amount of social studies which show that both negative and positive attention.
Salacious appeal to authority, and you're just going to throw it.
Well,
off
would
like
you
that?
reject
would
you reject sociological studies as being an authority?
I mean, most people would.
So would you?
Yeah, and I don't like you're just
saying
without actually presenting anything.
Okay,
so
but you said it's an appeal to authority. An appeal to.
I mean, I'm sure like this is. I don't know. I mean, I don't care enough to look up like a study on like what women like as attention or whatever. It's weird. Glad you stopped eating the beanie. What? Oh, wearing. Okay. Not to look bad. You just look brighter without it.
Authority fallacy only works if we don't agree on the authority.
Okay, well, I don't agree.
If I take off my headset, it's Jover.
I agree on the authority. I don't agree on.
Well, then why would you say that I made an appeal to authority? If you agree with the authority, you fucking idiot.
You did make an appeal to authority, which we both agree.
Well, we can't. If I can't make an appeal to authority if you agree with the authority. Anyway, all right. Enough. You're a fucking dolt. I'll bring the next person up. By the way, it's funny. If I were him, I would have countered with, but you don't believe they're an authority, which I would have had a great argument with for as well, but whatever.
No, I think, okay. We're not going to watch any more of this. I think we got the gist of it. Moral of the story, Lav and Smith are both utterly fucking retarded. Everyone who's ever come out of Mr. Girls Camp, frankly, is pretty fucking retarded. And that's kind of hard to argue with, okay? They're fucking stupid. Take